Hello, first graders. I hope you enjoyed reading Not a Box by Antionette Porter. It's such an awesome book, isn't it? In the story, we saw how the rabbit used basic shapes to transform that box into some amazing things, right? Now, we're going to dive deeper into the world of basic shapes in art and see how we can use them to create our own artwork. And all we need is a little imagination and a good eye. So I hope you're ready. Now, my favorite thing about the story was how that creative little rabbit took this simple little box and came up with so many crazy things it could be. He did this using basic shapes. And basic shapes are very important in art because artists use them to build everything they create. So today, we'll be applying our own creativity to the world of shapes. But first, we need to know exactly what basic shapes are. Well, that's a great question. Basic shapes are simple forms that we can find all around us. They're the foundation of more complex objects. Think about things like circles, for example. How many things do we see every day that are shaped like circles? We have clocks, we have globes, balls, all the things that are round usually start with a circle, right? How about squares and rectangles? Do we see things every day that are shaped like squares and rectangles? Sure we do, right? We have TVs, we have boxes, we have, all kinds of things that have four sides and are shaped like squares, right? How about triangles? Triangles are all around us every day too, right? You have your slice of pizza, you have a wedge of watermelon, the cone on the ice cream cone, right? That instrument in the corner is a triangle. How about the sign or the sails on the sailboat? I want you to pay special attention to the shapes of the last image. You see the little house? Well, what shapes did they use to build that house? You see, they put the rectangle on the bottom, and then they put a triangle on top, and that was what they used to construct the house, right? They made the house using those basic shapes. So because everything around you is made up of shapes, these shapes are like the building blocks of art, and they help us to create all sorts of wonderful things. But to do this, artists must first train their eyes and learn to recognize the shapes that make up the world around them. So what we're going to practice today will be using our eyes to spot basic shapes that will help us to create our own unique artworks. Now, do you remember our little bunny friend from the story and how it used its imagination to turn the box into all sorts of things? That's because everything we see is made up of shapes. A building could be a rectangle. A basketball is round like a circle, remember? Now it's our turn to practice using our imagination to turn a simple shape into something awesome. Here I have a box like the one in the story. What do you see? Do you just see a box? If you do, we probably weren't reading the same story. Let's switch over to our iPad and I'll show you what I mean. Here's our box. Do you still see a box? How about now? What do you see? A robot? Okay, but it's still a box though. Or maybe it's not a box. Maybe it's a Christmas tree with a little squirrel living inside. Is that it? Okay, maybe that's not it. Maybe it's just a box then. Or maybe it's a pickup truck. You see, that is the power of basic shapes. Now, if you said it's just a box, you'd be mistaken, right? So what did you notice about the example? Do you still see the box? Can you see the different shapes I used? You see? Shapes can be used to create anything in art. Okay, Now I want to see what you guys come up with. I want you guys to look at the example on our PowerPoint again, okay? And I want you to use your whiteboards and let's take turn adding shapes to the box to see what kind of wacky stuff we can come up with together. Okay? Let's turn this into something different. Okay. So house. Can you guys see how important shapes are and how they come together to create new things? Great. So now let's practice a little bit more. Okay? In your PowerPoints, you have a worksheet, okay? And that worksheet has an image on it. What is that an image of? A train. Do you see a train? You see how it's made up of all those different shapes? I want you to break out into your breakout rooms. I'm going to put you all in breakout rooms, and carefully, I want you to look over the objects on the sheet with your group, okay? Try to identify all the different shapes that make up the train. Count each shape and put the number of shapes you find below. I'll pop into the groups as you work and see how you guys are doing, okay? One tip though, color in the shapes as you count them so you won't double count by mistake, okay? All right, I'm gonna break you guys into your breakout rooms and we will get started on this assignment. That's right. Very good. So far, you've been able to identify and define basic shapes in art. Now I want you to try this on your own because you guys did so well. I want you all to take this box-shaped template, only it's not a box, it's whatever your imagination says it is, right? I want you to try to add shapes to your box and change it into something different on your own. Okay, underneath, write the name of what you transformed the shape into. If you're having trouble drawing, you can find shapes on Google and drag the images to your shape on the screen. You can just drag it right in. And if you rather write about it, write a sentence about the objects here in the room that are shaped like that box. So for example, you can write, I see a square shape on my cereal box, or I can see a square on the blackboard. When you're finished, raise your hand and I'll come to you. Excellent work, guys. Well, kiddos, I really enjoyed creating with you all. You all have great imaginations. It's almost as if you became shape masters. And if you don't believe me, look down at your pages. Remember when it was just a box? With the power of imagination, you were able to take that simple shape and make something incredible. Good job, guys. For homework, I'd like you all to find everyday objects at home and identify the basic shapes that make up those objects. Write or draw about what you discover, and we'll talk about it next class. Thank you so much. You all were great. Thanks for having me. I will see you next class. Bye. And that was my micro teach. So I'm going to begin my reflection now. I feel like this was a really helpful exercise. It helped me to really picture, it helped me to really transition what I wrote on paper in my lesson plan to actually seeing it in practice, and it helped me have a better idea of what that would look like in real life in an actual classroom. I made the choices that I did for this lesson, obviously, because of the subject area. I wanted to make sure that it was engaging, that the students were having plenty of time to not only grasp the concept, but also some hands-on activities that would help them really solidify their understanding and gain a deeper understanding of the material. What I found most difficult about planning the lesson was just scripting out what I was going to say to the students. But that was really the most difficult part, just trying to visualize what I was writing in practice and see it, actually unfolding in class. And and accounting for the the different learning styles and making sure that I was pacing myself. I believe that that was the most difficult part. For Micro Teach 2, I am looking forward to doing a live class, and I really want to uh, provide some more hands-on activities, something a little bit more physical that they can touch and play around with. I feel like that's going to be really exciting to see students engaging with the materials that we bring in, and really get a grasp for what these basic shapes look like in the real world with something that's actually physically there. Uh, Try to write out the script in a way that would help me with the fluidity and the pacing. Maybe some bullet points to help me get from one point to another. What I will do again is what I tried to do was provide different methods of interacting with the PowerPoint using annotations, and also I was streaming from my iPad, and I felt that that gave the students a little bit of different taste of how things look in different applications, and different ways to just go about interacting with the material. So I would definitely try to do that again and improve upon it. What I would change is, well, there's not much that I could change as far as Zoom, but recording it on Zoom was a bit tedious, especially with all of the features and things that I was trying to use, transitioning between the different windows. My screen is literally a bunch of windows right now. If you take a look at what my screen, I'll just share it so that you have an idea. But my screen was open like this. I have my picture on the side, and then I have my script over here, which I rewrote just to try to make it a little bit easier to read. And I have my PowerPoint here, which I can interact with, but also it was difficult trying to move from window to window to window, especially getting all the things done with the different annotations and the different things. So that was definitely an experience. I'm happy that I was able to take part in it, and I was able to participate in such a cool exercise. It was great practice, and I look forward to my second micro teach, which I think is going to be loads better than this one. This was nerve-wracking and also really fun. So I'm excited about Micro Teach 2, and I really can't wait to get started on that one and see what I can come up with for a live class. Oh, thanks for listening, thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next Micro Teach. Bye.